Hello. Let's look at the March solar production. This was a really good build. This was probably the first one that I felt like I could brag about. The bill was only $23, and I was really close to breaking even on production and consumption. So let's go ahead and look at the bill. So the bill was $23.36. The bill cycle was 28 days. My rate actually went down 0.2 of a cent, which made it about an even 9 cents per kilowatt hour. So it's basically one sunny day away from producing more than I consumed. For this bill period, we gained 52 minutes of daylight. The sunrise and sunset went from 6:20 a.m. and 6:07 p.m. to 6:46 a.m. to 7:25 p.m. So for this period, we averaged about 12 hours, 12 minutes of daylight. The average temperature this month was about the same. It was 64 degrees, down from an average of 65 last month. This was also the first time I had more sunny days than cloudy days. 13 sunny days, 5 partly cloudy, and 11 fully cloudy days. So 73.5% of the solar I produced, I exported to the grid, and 74.5% of my usage came from the grid. So still producing a lot during the day when nobody's home, and obviously using a lot more at night. My panels have a guarantee that they are supposed to hit, and if they don't hit that guarantee, then I'm entitled to a refund from the company that installed my panels. And basically they have to average 28.5 kilowatt hours per day. For the next couple months, I'll need to be over that number because I've been below it since I've had the solar panels. And this month I averaged 35.5 kilowatt hours per day. So that's the first time actually meeting the goal. Now let's look at the daily chart. The main difference between this one and other ones I've done is you'll notice the blue line, which is production, spends a lot more time above the orange line, which is consumption, which is what I want. Okay, so what you'll notice is I had 2 really bad days, and one of them will obviously be the worst day. But another thing you'll notice is most of my production days were pretty good. I only had one day where I produced less than 15 kilowatt hour, and very few production days where I produced less than 20 kilowatt hours. Since last month, my production is up to 991.7 kilowatt hours. Last month it was just 716 kilowatt hours. My consumption actually went down to 1,025 kilowatt hours, down from 1,305. I broke my records for best days for production, consumption, and just overall days. So we can look at some of those days as well as some of the days where I was just producing more than I consumed. First, let's look at the worst day. You get the bad news out of the way. It was rainy and cloudy, so I didn't produce much. And it was Saturday, so someone was home all day and had to charge the car, and I think I did laundry that day. A lot of these days will follow the same theme: high production, low consumption, moderate temperatures, and not having to charge the car. March 9th, a little more production, but not quite as good of consumption. March 12th, you can see the pretty standard amount of time charging the car, but I still came out ahead 4 kilowatt hours. March 13th is my new record day for consumption, only consuming 11.7 kilowatt hours, and my best overall day, producing 32.5 kilowatt hours more than I used. March 14th was a huge production day, not much consumption outside of charging the car. March 15th was another huge production day, this time with much better consumption. I broke my overall record for production on March 20th, and then on March 21st, I came back and broke that record again, and that's my new overall record for production since I've had the system. March 22nd was also another huge day, still almost 46 kilowatt hours produced. March 25th was a really good consumption day. It was one of the few partly cloudy days where I was still able to manage to produce more than I consumed. Friday, March 30th, we weren't home most of the day, so we didn't use that much electricity. I think the majority of the electricity we did use was between 8 p.m. and midnight. Sunday, April 1st was a really great day. It would have been an even better day if the previous Saturday I had finished charging the car and it didn't spill over into the Sunday. Monday, April 2nd is probably the most I've produced on a partly cloudy day since I've had the system. And finally, Thursday, April 5th, we did have a little rain later, but for the most part it was sunny, even though it shows it was cloudy and rainy at the bottom. Okay, so let's look at the savings for the month. I produced 991.73 kilowatt hours. Some of it I sent to the grid, some of it I kept. So that would have saved me $92.36. And that's based on the 9.3 cents per kilowatt hour I paid for electricity. Had I been paying the national average rate of 12 cents per kilowatt hour, I would have saved $119.01. Once again, I'm going to factor in the Tesla. I drove 2,066 miles this month with an average efficiency of 294 watt hours per mile. That would put me at 607.4 kilowatt hours used, and that would have cost $56.57 to charge, not taking into account any of the times I went to the supercharger or any vampire drain that I lost. If I had a comparable gas-powered car, let's say one that got 27 miles per gallon, when this month ended, gas prices were $2.34 per gallon. That would have cost me $179.05 in gas. So my Tesla saved me $122.49 in transportation costs. The national average gas price was $2.65 at the end of this period, and that would have cost me $202.77. So I would have saved even more. But based on the national average electricity rate, it would have cost me $72.89 to charge the car at home. I would have saved $129.89 based on the national average gas price and electricity price for charging my car compared to having a gas-powered car. So yeah, 14 out of 28 days I produced more than I consumed. So I was right there at breaking even. And I figured out one thing on the bill. I'll have to bring it up. So I figured out what the net metering credit avoided cost is. That's a separate rate that I get once I reach the point where I'm producing more than I've consumed. This month they would have only given me the dollar for dollar rate for an additional 41 kilowatt hours. Anything beyond that and I would get this rate. I only expect to produce more than I consume only a few months of the year in the summer, so it shouldn't make any differences in my decision for the Powerwall.